Do you think life form is more common than anybody can imagine?
Yes, of course. What is life form? We we can think ourselves, out of ordinary, and I think, how we became to be. Many people they ask the same question today. Oh yeah, we came by the creation. We could not possibly have the arms and the legs, but if you think and go a little deeper, see exactly what sustained our life, who we are, and how we became to be. You can see that life form actually is more common than anybody could have thought of it. I want you to understand the universe itself. That has it's not empty the way the scientists they think. That energy, which one they build the planets, the same energy is start the life form. How it start all that? Every single planet, which one has perfect distance from the sun, which one they were able to hold on to their liquid, the water, the way our Earth did, and as soon as the volcano they spewed inside the oceans, actually the water helped to sustain that life, the energy within the volcanoes. Because what happened, how the energy died, you have to comprehend that. The energy, usually the heat kills the energy, but the water, it saves the energy. This is the way, this is the reason we became who we are today. Because we are the weakest form of the energy, the weakest form. I want you to imagine yourself, energy, the way that energy has the metal or anything else, the rock, but we are the weakest form, just like a jelly itself. What the jelly is the energy within which one has little muscles and everything, ability to pull itself back and forth. And how that happens? It causes because of the energy, is looking constantly for nutrients to sustain itself. And this is who we are. If it wasn't the weakest form, if it wasn't the weakest form the way we are, I don't think we could have been who we are today. Because the low energies, it constantly it went into changes and changes, and we adopt the changes on the earth, until we became who we are today.
And can you give a little explanation on how metals became to be?
Yes, of course. What is metals? Why do you think, especially in the inner cores, when we have metal? What is metal? The metal is a highly concentrated energy, the energy which one produced by the atoms in itself. When the energy, what is incredible about the energy itself, the higher the concentration, the higher it's squeezed into small space. This is how as long as the energy has a strength to it, it will pull into the extreme. By forcing everything into the small space, it actually created highly concentrated energy, which one we call metal. That's what it is. It's a highly concentrated, and not just metal itself. Can you imagine? The gold, the silver, the everything. But you see, why do you think they melt under certain degree? That will tell you, how long and how much a concentration went into certain metal. They became what they are. You see, the metal, it melts, a lot faster than, I'm sorry, I apologize, that the gold melts a lot lower heat. Aluminum, gold, they melt with lower heat. But the iron, you gotta take, over 2,000, 3,000 degrees until it reaches into a melting point. It should tell you how much is the concentration of the energy. Higher the concentration, higher it takes, you have to give higher heat to force the metal to melt.
So how is it that the inner cores of stars and planets hold all that energy inside of them?
Now this is a very crucial point, where exactly, I have a cutting advantage over other scientists. I know how that energy works. Again, I said that how that energy holds all that the inner cores itself, because the bigger the concentration of the energy, and the stronger it is. That's what we see by the gravitational force. You see, when the energy, when the one planet has energy to it, we can see the gravitational force on the surface of that planet. If it has no energy, actually has no gravitational force. When what happened to old planets? You see, when they age, slowly it demolish and it die off the energy within them, and it actually escapes. When has no longer ability to hold itself down. But again, from the beginning, It started, from small, but it concentrate and concentrate. The concentration actually what it holds all the energy into the place.
Can you explain a little difference between the rocky planets and liquid planets?
Of course I can. Then let's take, for example, our planet Earth. Scientists consider as a rocky planet, and they consider Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune as a liquid planet. Why is that? Let's take a look. What exactly we have common with those planets. We have almost a similar gravitational force. The Earth has a whole gravitational force, but Saturn and Uranus, they have less than us, and just the Neptune is a little above us. And what exactly happens under that gravitational force? Anything existing within our atmosphere, if it doesn't turn liquid under a whole gravitational force, but when you freeze it, what happens? Like take for example nitrogen. And under a whole gravitational force, when they freeze the nitrogen 220 degrees below zero, it turns liquid. And imagine, the sun's heat, it never reaches to those planets. Over there, the cold, it reaches to extreme. And what happens? Can you imagine? Automatically, the nature creates oceans. The deepest oceans exist anywhere in our solar system. Exist on those Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. You see, close to the surface is liquid, but in the upper atmosphere is gas, because gradually the gravity force is decreasing.